sun's still low. 2 hearts strong on a panhandle road. Just another drive, just miles to go. No one knew what the night would hold. 4 corners where the wind don't sleep, where the prairie keeps its secrets deep. Headlights cut through the Oklahoma plain, but some roads remember pain. The earth stood still, the silence cried. 2 names echoed across that line. Now a piece of 95 carries their names, written in steel, written in pain. Veronica and Jillian don't fade away. Every mile remembers that day. Let the highway say what we can't say. Love don't die, it just marks the way. Candles burned in the cold night air, prayers were whispered everywhere. Mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, asking God how this world bends. From Yucatan down that lonely stretch, justice chased what it couldn't fetch. But memory's louder than any crime, and truth outlives time. Where they fell, we stand tall. You can't erase them, you can't let them fall. Now a piece of 95 carries their names, written in steel, written in pain. Veronica and Jillian don't fade away. Every mile remembers that day. Let the highway say what we can't say. Love don't die, it just marks the way. Let every driver slow their pace. Read the sign, feel the grace. 2 lives stolen, not in vain. The story rides the rain. If you hear the wind when you pass through, that's the road remembering too. Yeah, a piece of 95 stands as proof that truth survives, that loves the truth. Veronica Butler, Jillian Kelly, your names rise strong. Your light stays steady on Oklahoma ground, forever live in the heart of the road. A piece of 95. So drive on slow and say their names. Some roads are built for more than lanes. There you go. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully everybody's doing good. I was going to come in here and share. Hey, Hawkeyes. Got Hawkeyes in the house. Dillhole in the house. Girly Girl 420 in the house. And Jay Thomas from Greeley, Colorado. Says it's in the 60s today. That is awesome. We was close. We might have been 62 today. A little windy, but still extremely nice. Extremely nice. Let's see here. Yes, good evening to everybody. We had a girly girl, I don't know if you saw it, but right down the street, had a gentleman killed this morning. I guess he wrecked his truck and was walking down the middle of the street with a gun. And sheriff department pulled up and he started firing at the cars. And anyway, they killed him. I just don't know what's going through people's minds anymore. It's just crazy. I mean, that's too close to home. It's right there. Journey! Hell, she might be sleeping. She did go out to her van earlier. And I think tomorrow she's going to go out. No, it's in my area, like literally a couple blocks from the house. But in your
in your area, girly girl, that a guy driving on K96 for about 7 miles on the wrong side and injured several people. I do know that. Hawkeye says the snow is melting at 52, but it's already 39 now. Listen, yeah, it's crazy. The world's crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Let's see here. Here we go. This is Clint Butler, Veronica's dad.
I want the girls to own that stretch of road, if that makes sense. And they should own it.
A dad on a mission to help his daughter reclaim her power. This week, the community raised enough money to get permanent markers renaming a stretch of Highway 95 between Kansas and Oklahoma to honor the lives of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. It is the same stretch of road that led the two to their ambush, attack, and murder. Veronica's dad said they are reclaiming a place marred with evil and violence and marking it with love and honor. No matter the time or distance, daughters have a way of giving a gentle reality check.
I think she would feel like, Dad, what the hell are you doing?
But not even that will stop Clint Butler from taking care of his daughter.
She wouldn't want it because she's not that way. She's not that kind of person that's going to, well, I deserve this, so let me have it. She's going to be like, Dad, stop. It's not about me. It's about my kids. That's exactly the way she would think.
The site where Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly were attacked is already covered with ribbons, flowers, and mementos of support.
Exciting and sad all at the same time.
Clint's desire for a permanent tribute is mixed with somber acceptance of his reality.
Of course, everybody wishes it was a different circumstance, but it is what it is. We can't change that.
Those circumstances rooted in evil uncovered care.
The thoughtfulness of everybody and the concern that they have and the empathy that they have for our family, it means a lot.
When you see the markers on the side of Highway 95, Clint wants you to think of Veronica and Jillian.
Love every single day, no matter what. Even if they're gone, still love, still show.
Despite knowing Veronica probably wouldn't want this type of recognition, good dads always try to do what's best.
She does deserve it.
The GoFundMe to raise money for the markers has already reached its goal. However, it is still up, and with any extra money, Clint wants to buy footstones for Veronica and Jillian with their pictures on it. We do have a link to that GoFundMe with this story at ksn.com.
Good thing she came up, because I was just reading all along. Thank you, Journey. Oh, should I read it again, or did you guys read along with me? Anyway, this is the GoFundMe, and it looks like they raised all that money in 4 days, which is very awesome. All funds raised will go directly towards the cost of official Oklahoma Department of Transportation memorial highway signs, installation and maintenance fees required by the state, any small administrative costs associated with completing the designation. The families are committed to full transparency and will share updates as the process moves forward. Yeah, thank you. I didn't see the chat because I'm in another screen reading, but thank you, Journey, for coming up. Appreciate it. Anyway, it also says, whether you knew Veronica and Jillian personally or followed their story from afar, your contribution helps ensure their names stand as a public testament to their lives. Together, we can create something meaningful and lasting, something their children and families can look to with pride and comfort. Thank you for helping us honor Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Their light remains with us, and with your support, it will continue to shine along with Highway 95 in Oklahoma for generations to come. Like I said, they said they was going to close it when they got the money raised. I don't know how much the stepping stones are going to cost, but their goal was $1,800, and they've raised $2,300. Congratulations, that's awesome. So there was that part of it. Now I'm going to go on to RJ's case. That's the young guy, 12-year-old that was missing out of Chickasha, and his parents he was missing, and his parents were arrested for child abuse. They got several charges. And the Cajun Navy, Oklahoma and Texas branch, 2 guys from that, was able to locate RJ yesterday. He's safe. And the parents, this was the stepdad and his mother, had court today. And it seems that after court, when the stepdad got back to jail, they said he tried to hang himself from his bunk bed in his jail cell, but he is alive and he is in the hospital. So I'm not going to give any comment on what I think about that, because what them 2 parents did just sounds absolutely horrible. So let me see here. Let's see which one okay. I have KOCO. Now, this newscaster that did this, she screwed up. She's human. They happen. That happens. What she did is she said that before court that he had attempted what he did, and that is not true. The way I understand it, it happened happened after court. Okay.
This release here from the DA's office, and it says that suspect, George Cole Jr., actually attempted to take his own life right before he was supposed to go into court. He's now in the hospital. He's undergoing some testing while his wife is in jail right now on 11 charges. RJ!
9 days after 12-year-old RJ Davis was last seen in Chickasha, volunteers found him back on his family's farm in Caddo County. While we're still working to learn how he got there, we do know it's an area volunteers peeled through for more than a week.
I was worried that he wasn't. The longer it went, I thought, the chances are slim, but kept hoping and praying.
Neighbor Vaughn Craddock believes those prayers were answered. He says he didn't know or realize what the boy was going through up until investigators arrested his mom and stepdad following his disappearance. Now, the day before getting taken away in handcuffs, though, they interviewed with us.
And we just want our son back home. We want him back.
Now, Kimberly Cole is facing 11 charges, 3 child abuse, 2 child sex abuse, 3 child neglect, 2 conspiracy, and 1 crime against nature. Her husband, George Cole, faced 10 charges, 8 child abuse, 1 for child sex abuse, and 1 for child neglect. Now, we're still working to learn the context of those charges, but earlier today, we learned that George tried to hang himself in jail. In the meantime, RJ's in state custody while investigators work the case. And while his future remains uncertain,
the OSBI, the Chickasha Police Department, we're going to work closely with DHS to make sure that RJ is put into a safe home.
All right, so quick correction right there. It was after Cole Jr. had his first appearance in court. Their next court dates haven't been set just yet. Obviously, we're going to stay on top of this. And as far as RJ goes, we're still working to learn where he's going to go next. He's in state custody at this time. We do know he is not going to go back to his parents. His biological father as well was in prison for the past 10 years and is out now. Live in Caddo County, Sean Navarro, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, so I had several people ask me, what about his biological father? Well, you just heard her say he was in prison for 10 years. But I did finally find a clip, and it was from when they had the vigil on Friday night, which had his father in it, his biological father.
RJ's dad was here at the vigil in Chickasha tonight, and he made it very clear he's willing to do whatever it takes to help find his son. But he also said he hasn't seen his son in several years. He hasn't had contact with him, and he blames one of the suspects.
Heartbroken. I'm feeling really a lot of anxiety to find him because he's got to be somewhere. Whether it's for the good or the bad, we need to know.
Robbie Frederick Jr. attended the vigil in Chickasha Friday night.
Just let him come home. Let him come home and let us know that he's safe. This ain't fair to him, and it ain't fair to the parents that do love and care for the kids. I mean, who would want to be in this predicament?
It's now been a full week since his son, 12-year-old RJ Davis, was last seen. He admitted to us he hasn't had contact with his son for about 8 years.
George Cole kept me out of it, and Kim let me try, and Junior shut it down.
Robbie had a previous relationship with the other suspect, Kimberly Cole, and I asked Robbie if he thought RJ had access to a phone or any kind of communication.
I guess Kim's side of the family did say he did have a phone at time, but it kept getting taken away from him. So I don't know.
The search effort continues for 12-year-old RJ, who also goes by Riker. He was last seen around 11 p.m. on January 2nd at 4th Street and East Grand Avenue near the Quality Inn in Chickasha. Thursday, law enforcement officials were searching a property north of Cement, where his parents, Kimberly and George Cole, ran a horse training business. Robbie has a message for his son.
Riker, Dad's here. Your real dad is here looking for you, and I'm out tonight looking for you. And I am going to find you, whether which way I got to go to do it.
And Friday, OSBI said they're now offering up to $5,000 for information on the location of 12-year-old RJ. But at last check, guys, that search is still ongoing. Live in Chickasha tonight.
Which we all know RJ was found. Cajun Navy, the Texas and Oklahoma branch worked together, and they found him yesterday. You know, yes, Journey, 8 years. Wow. It also said that the dad was in prison for 10 years. I mean, when was that 10 years spent? He says he hasn't seen him in 8 years. Hey, Jason, how's it going? Hasn't seen him in 8 years. I don't know. Surely they're not going to give Dad the son right now, because we don't know where he's at in his life, and RJ needs to be able to heal. You know, that's one thing that DHS does, and I'm sorry. Seems like they take kids out of a bad home and they put them in a worse home. So hopefully, you know, they'll do a lot of research before they let anybody take this poor kid. Journey says, what a way to see your father after 8 years. RJ must be thinking some way, love, I hope. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Again, I just hope they do what's right for RJ. I'm not a fan of DHS at all. Even in the Kansas mom's case, like, they dropped the ball on a lot of things. They drop the ball on so many things. I don't know about your DHSs in your area. I'm sure it's the same. They have a third party that handles all the foster parenting and all that. It just sucks. They do a horrible job. And let's be honest, some people only foster because they want the money. Are they really doing it? There's people that do it for the kids. But I think a lot of them do it for the money. Anyway, that's my feeling on that. It's just so crazy. Yes, there is Journey's channel. Make sure you share your channel, Hawkeyes. As always, you're always sharing. It's great. There is Murphy's Travels. I got zapped yesterday with copyright strike, but it didn't strike me, a copyright. The music that Journey used, it was okay for her short, but not even 5 minutes after I got off the live, I got the email saying that it's copyrighted. So, not her fault. Wasn't mad. Still not mad. I just had to go in and take the song out. So there's that. We are going to be headed to the Panhandle on January 21st to go to court on the 23rd for Tad's, and then we'll also be there for Tiffany's sentencing. So fixing to make that travel. Also, we've been covering the Oklahoma dentist and his wife. Seems like that he was in court. The ex-husband was in court today. Brian Rambles, I don't know if you watch Surviving the Survivor, but they've been covering it. They went live one time, and they're live right now. And they're going into the background of the ex-husband, which might answer a lot of your questions you had, Brian. I'm not going to share it right now because they're live and that wouldn't be right. But as I said before, I like that channel, and go check it out. Yes, prayers for Hawkeye. She's got some major dental surgery on Wednesday. Say prayers for her. You'll be fine. You will be fine. Yes, I like who Joel has on his channel on Surviving the Survivor, and they got a lot of good information. That's right, Journey. It's not your fault. Some music is okay, others is not. Journey was telling me last night that she's had some videos that's been up for years, and now all of a sudden they've said that she couldn't use it. It's copyright. So I don't know. AI's also doing the YouTube stuff, and I think AI is flagging a lot of things. This channel was taken down, and I had to fight it, and they reversed the decision. But it's just crazy how things are gone that way. You can see these hate channels on here. They're showing full episodes of people's YouTube, and they're able to do that. But we're just informing people and going over stuff, and my channel got taken down. I woke up one morning and it was gone. I had to fight it. Sometimes I just wanted to, I'll be honest, I was just going to let it go and just not even fight it. But that's not fair to you guys. It's not fair to you at all. Let's see here. Here was this. This is on the Ohio case. Again, Surviving the Survivor is live right now. Might go check it out because he's definitely going over the history of this guy.
The hearing got underway today for defendant Michael McKee. He's the man charged with murdering his ex-wife and her husband in Ohio. Now, McKee was booked over the weekend, alleged to have shot and killed Spencer and Monique Tepe in their Columbus home. Now, the couple's 2 young children were in the home at the time, but police say they were not harmed.
We want to get you back into court now, for the start of this hearing for Michael McKee.
Alexander. Third quarter, the defendant is present in custody.
Can you answer for the record? Michael McKee, have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position in this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee, I will assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent. And Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood, thank you. We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday for status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
I think that was it on that. Yeah.
All right, let's bring in criminal defense attorney Josh Schiffer. Short but
Line the
sweet,
red flag.
waiving extradition. From my perspective as a judge, not that big of a deal. I mean, you can fight it, but generally, if they have that evidence as to where it occurred and what they have in that other state, they're going to extradite. Your thoughts on this waiver?
Exactly.
Hawkeye's what he's saying, addicted to the dentist. He's addicted to this case, I believe. Isn't that what you're saying, Brian? You're addicted to this case with the dentist and his wife?
It's the smartest and most efficient way to move the process forward. He ain't gonna win anything fighting extradition. May as well get to where you need to go as quickly as possible. That hopefully smooths out his initial appearances at his eventual destination. And let me just tell you, when this case broke last week, we talked about how this is the kind of scariest crime there is because there was no lead. There was nothing. This was the terror in the night. Big sigh of relief that someone who could very likely be the responsible party was identified quickly by law enforcement through the investigation.
Yeah.
This is the kind of crime that is just heart-rending. It's just awful.
Yeah, it's heart-rending. And on some level, you got to wonder what the motivation might have been. Nothing of that sort given out. But he was captured because of good detective work, good investigation work. They connected a car, but also they had surveillance video of someone walking in the area where these crimes were committed. Let's pull that up. It's always chilling to see these things. Even by the way this person is walking, who they believe was Michael McKee, might have been involved in this crime in this way. But Josh, one of the things I want to ask you is when I think about a case like this, you think about motive, as I mentioned earlier. This is his ex-wife. And I wonder, is this still the type of case that you can look at as being part of a domestic violence situation? I do not know whether there was any of that type of thing when they were involved in any way. But again, sometimes you leave someone and they look at you over there being happy and creating a family, and that makes them seethe. And again, it's sort of this extension of domestic violence.
It's definitely within that realm of discourse. I was just talking with a senior prosecutor here today about how domestic violence continues to be studied and it affects all parts of our judicial system, not even just criminal, but the civil as well, because the cycles of domestic violence create future problems. If you're a young person and you're exposed to domestic violence in the home, you have a higher likelihood of lots of negative externalities occurring. That goes over to literally family law. It goes to civil cases. It goes to fights in workplaces. Domestic violence and how we handle emotional dysregulation as people, one of the biggest challenges facing us existentially as a nation when we talk about criminal justice.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And this is one of those people, Judge, one of the last people you consider. I believe he was a vascular surgeon or a surgeon.
Right.
And again, anyone who can get to that level clearly is someone that's respected in the community, not someone you'd suspect of something like
Absolutely. And smart and focused to have accomplished that level of education and work. I want to do this, though, because I want to talk about some of the differences between Spencer and Monique, specifically first, the way they were killed. And I think we have a full screen that provides a lot of the information factually. The differences that Spencer had multiple gunshot wounds and Monique had at least one wound to the chest, that there were no obvious signs of forced entry, no firearm was found on the scene. And then again, that surveillance video, as well as detectives linked McKee to a vehicle that arrived just before the murders. These facts, I think, help build that circumstantial case, although the two killings can be used, I think, by the defense, Josh, as two differences between the killings, perhaps meaning two killers.
Yeah, Judge, you've seen this so many times in your practice before you got on television, that these are the kinds of cases where that perfectly normal person you interact with all the time snaps in a way no one can predict. Now, when it comes to defending it, sure, they're going to put up the idea that there could be other people. There's calls about another harassing interaction with a neighbor down the street in the middle of the night. Heck, I've had my door rattled at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning by someone trying to get $20. So there's always these other alternatives. But when you get down to the linkages we know about already, combine it with this prior relationship, we don't even know how aggressive that process was. There's going to be investigation into the suspect's family life, his personality currently. And I think that it's going to be a strong effort from the state if it all lines up.
Yeah, now this whole thing came to light 10, 11 days ago or so. The gentleman who was killed in this case, the victim, didn't show up for work, causing his boss to call 911 because he's not the kind of guy that wouldn't have shown up for work without calling in. Let's take a quick listen to that 911 call.
Did you receive information that he may have been involved in an accident, or?
No, ma'am. I just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Josh, I want to take you back to that hearing that we saw. We've both been at this a long time. I got a bit of a vibe from it when they pled not guilty, they waived the extradition, and he agrees to an immediate transfer to Ohio. Made me feel like they aggressively want to try this case. Makes me feel like he wants to fight and show his innocence. Did you get that sense in the way this went down, the way this hearing went away?
Absolutely. In fact, it's one of the first things that's come to my head, and it's just like what you talked about. We've done this for so long. If you know you're going to face, let's just face it, a factually strong investigation, the best thing you can do is pressure them to try it too fast. You can force unforced errors. You can make sure the state doesn't have the time and luxury to really go through everything in the way that they would like by filing, speedy trial demands. And it depends on how that works mechanically from state to state. But we call it in Georgia jamming them up because the state doesn't have enough resources to adequately prepare for a high profile, concentrated, complex case in a short period of time, which in Georgia, you're talking about 1 or 2 terms of court. It can be as short as a couple of months. I see that as being a very valid defense, but telling, because the other side of the coin is just, you gone, man. You gone.
You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that. So just tell us, if you could briefly, Josh, what happens next? We know extradition is waived. They have to get all the different law enforcement people lined up to safely transport him to Ohio. What do we expect next?
Yeah, there's actually an interstate transport system that's been set up to facilitate, because thousands of inmates go around the nation on any given day. It is not a luxurious form of travel. It's the most local bus of all local buses. But once he arrives in the appropriate jurisdiction, everything's going to be set up. He's going to have a first appearance. He's going to be presented with copies of the information that he's required. They're going to immediately handle whether he's going to be appointed a public defender. Even if he's going to get private counsel, a public defender may be available for that initial appearance hearing, where very little comes from the defendant other than a not guilty. And then I expect the people of Ohio to put him on a regular prosecution track. That's where that speedy trial could possibly come up. If he can get in there and force the state to move faster than they want, that may be his best defense.
Yeah, I would agree. And then we're still waiting on that charging document to find out some of the details about what they...
Yeah, so Jezebel, which I know you've been working and stuff, are you talking about, is that guy family with Derek with the red glasses? Is that what you're saying? I know, me too. Listen, we was making a joke about it the other day. Them glasses. You notice ever since we said something about them glasses, he hasn't worn them, though. That's hilarious.
Just really want to know more about McKee. Who is he, and what was he doing between the 2017 divorce from Monique up until his arrest?
Yeah, 10 Investigates Rochelle Aline spent the day looking into his background. She joins us now with what you've learned about all this, Rochelle.
I mean, my search took me to multiple locations today, and I want to show you guys what I was able to find out. Leading up to his arrest on January 10th, 39-year-old Michael David McKee was working as a surgeon in Illinois. That's according to Illinois state records. Records show McKee also has an active license in the state of California. It expires.
Says he has an active license in the state of California. Brian, are you listening to this?
of California. It expires in 2026. Monday, 10 investigates confirmed that between 2014 and 2025, McKee held 3 other medical licenses or certificates in Virginia, Ohio, and Nevada. When it comes to his marriage to Monique Tepe, we were able to confirm that the pair married in 2015 and divorced just 2 years later. Monique Tepe is listed as filing. The reason? They were incompatible. It's a high-profile, high-interest case, and local police are well aware. Last week, before McKee was arrested and charged in the deaths of Monique and her husband Spencer, the Columbus police chief issued this reminder to the community.
We know that people are concerned, and we know that people have a lot of questions. What we're asking for is patience as it relates to this investigation.
And she's not the only one offering reminders to the community at this time. Earlier today, Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther spoke on the case. He called for prayers for the Tepe family, but he also said he wanted to remind people that despite this heartbreaking crime, the greater community is safe. In the studio, Rochelle Aline, 10 TV News.
All right, let's see here. This is the local news station. That's who I've been going to try to get stuff other than Surviving the Survivor.
Well, thank you for joining us on a busy start to the week. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. We're going to start right with that story that we have been covering since it happened nearly 2 weeks ago. The man accused of killing Spencer and Monique Tepe appeared in court for the first time today.
39-year-old Michael McKee was arrested Saturday in Rockford, Illinois. The ex-husband of Monique Tepe is now facing 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder.
We have live team coverage for you tonight from Columbus to Illinois. And we start with 10 TV's Lacey Crisp, who joins us live from Winnebago County there in Illinois. Lacey, you were at McKee's hearing today.
That's right. In a less than 5-minute long hearing, Dr. Michael McKee did not show any emotion. Now, he was shackled as he walked into court. He did not make eye contact with anyone in the full courtroom gallery. He looked straight ahead. McKee is now facing 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder in the deaths of his ex-wife Monique and her husband Spencer Tepe inside their home on December 30th. Columbus police say there were no signs the Tepe's home was broken into. The couple's 2 young children were inside the home at the time, but were not injured. No one from CPD nor the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office were in court today in Illinois. In court, McKee was represented by an assistant public defender, and they waived the extradition, meaning he says he wants to go back to Franklin County, Ohio, to face the charges as quickly as possible. He will be held in Winnebago County Jail until that transport happens. The sheriff's office in Winnebago County will coordinate with Columbus police to transport McKee back to Ohio.
Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing.
And I spoke with the Tepe family after the hearing today. They tell me they are fully confident that Michael is the one who committed these crimes. Now, also in court today, the judge set a hearing for next Monday to make sure that McKee is transported back to Ohio. Reporting live from Rockford, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
There you go. Oops.
A surgeon turned alleged killer walked.
There we go. You guys also, did you see that a husband and wife was also killed, found shot to death? I believe it was Houston. Not sure. Brian Ramble says, don't ask me that. Aha, awful. Fired my nurse. Did you? Will they just get you another nurse, Brian? You know, Dillhole says he looks like Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Great movie. That was a great movie. I agree. But expanded made people. Brian said that he was having a hard time. There was a language barrier there, too. Hey, did you guys happen to see this picture? Have you paid attention? Did you see this picture? What do you think? Just curious. Just curious what you think of that picture. He looks like Nan in the video walks the same. Oh, she's saying it looks like the man in the video walks the same. Just so Odd. So I did dye my hair pink and blue like cotton candy. I did that. When did I do that? Saturday? Friday night. Friday night. I did. And I went to the basement to do it. And Journey had something to say about the whole thing as we was going. It was funny. It was hilarious. But it turned out pretty good. I like it. Rick said I couldn't do it. So guess what? I did it. Interesting basketball placement. I know, right? Well, you know, I'm a big basketball fan. Love my Jayhawks. There it is again. So yeah, my hair is pink and blue now. Earlier, Journey come up here. Listen, she's got to get her van situated, okay? She's got a lot to do. So she's going to get up early tomorrow because it's going to be an all-day thing. Anyway, I was looking up the weather and I was having, you know, Alexa in the box. I was having her tell me the weather. Like, let's see if this will do it again. We'll see. Okay, hold on. Alexa, can you give me the weather forecast for the next 10 days?
The forecast for the next 7 days. Tuesday, 64 degrees Fahrenheit and lots of clouds.
Well, they're not going to do it now. They're just sleeping.
Thursday,
Alexa, cancel. Oh, no, hold on. Alexa, continue. Hold on. Not music. Alexa, give me the forecast for the next 7 days. Alexa, give me the forecast for the next 7 days. Hold on, guys. You're going to hear it.
The forecast for the next 7 days. Tuesday, 64 degrees Fahrenheit and lots of clouds. Wednesday, 46 degrees and most
Do you hear Smith & Wesson?
Thursday, 51 degrees and mostly sunny.
They do not like this bitch in the box either. Alexa, cancel. My God. Stop. They don't like the bitch in the box, I'm telling you. So anyway, hold on. Anyway, so for some reason now she's playing music. Alexa, cancel and go to the home screen. Cancel the music.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, this bitch. Alexa, stop the music and go to home screen. Okay. Hold on. I have to smack this bitch in the box. Hold on. Listen, that bitch in the box, she just does her own thing. Anyway, so yeah, they were at it again. Anyway, I was trying to get the weather and we were discussing the weather and them dogs just started just like they did just now. They do not like that bitch in the box at all. Journey, I thought I saw gray. Makes you go crazy. Yeah, listen, they get to howling so much, it stopped and they'll still go for 10 minutes about it. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, so Journey's going to go out and try to figure out where she's going to put everything, get everything situated. Because next Wednesday, we're headed down to the Panhandle. Now, I don't know exactly how all this is going to go, but I do plan on going to seeing Beach Baby and Leroy and anybody else that wants us to see them. But I think plans have changed, so we won't be over in Boise City. Anyway, I'm figuring it out. But we'll make sure we get to see anybody that wants to see us. We'll make sure we get to see you. We plan on going and getting Christopher. I think Justified's going. I know Journey's going. I think Hawkeyes is talking about it, but she's waiting to see what happens with her dental procedure. I do know that we plan on going to see Hawkeyes too. So it's a lot going on. I saw Journey put the bus. Yeah, I mean, nobody's required to help, but if you want to help with the gas for the bus, that is appreciated, but it is not a requirement. But we do appreciate it. And now my throat itches. The bus is not cheap. I get it. It's not cheap. But again, I believe it's justified. Journey, Christopher, that's who all will be going to court. Because Rock won't go in that court. So, what is he saying here? Let's see here. Oh, okay. Wants to do that. Is that channel? I have told her if she ever makes it to Houston, let me know. That's right. I do plan on going down to Texas. So it's been, with Wesson and the situation with Wesson, it's really made it hard. As a matter of fact, Rick has taken off work to be with Wesson while I go out of town. Listen, he eats, everything's going good, okay? But he just can't use his back end. He drags his back feet. He's got a couple sores. I have to keep wrapping it. But as long as Wesson is not in pain, I can't put him down. Yeah, he smells to high heaven. It drives me nuts because, he pees and then he just pulls himself through it. But damn, I love that dog. That's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a real hard one to make that decision. I'm not ready for it. Journey says, if you can donate for the RV, app will be up. Yeah, I mean, we got Cash App, we've got Venmo, and PayPal. So, only if you can. If you can't, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Rubber Ramada says, hey guys, I've been listening. Lots going on. Hugs. Well, I hope everything is working okay for you. And we just love having you here. Anytime. Anytime you can make it here, it's great. Dillhole, we need to share Dillhole's channel too. Dillhole has a funny channel. He cracks me up. And he's always so kind. Always so kind. Love it. I was seeing today, and the only reason it reminded me of this is because one time, Dillhole, you remember when you was drinking a little bit and you had your granddaughter on there, and I think you was blowing up a car, if I remember right. So, it was Utah, January 1st. They passed a law in Utah that if you've had a DUI and you blew over, I think it was 0.16 when the legal limit's 0.08. If you blew over a 0.16, they flag your driver's license. You cannot buy alcohol at a bar, a liquor store, anywhere. It's kind of like your SA offenders. They put it on a license. In Utah, they're doing that with DUIs, alcohol-related crime type things. Anyway, I'd never seen that before. Yes, it's good to see you, Rubber. Rubber, it's good to see you. Rock, do not torture yourself. Listen, it's just a rough situation. Weston's been by my side. I even feel bad now because Smith still jumps up here, but Weston can't. So I don't even love on Smith when he's up here on the bed because I feel like Weston's going to get his feelings hurt because he can't get up here. Nor right now would I want him up here because this is the situation. He smells so bad, and Rick helps me, and I put him in the bathtub and clean him, but by that night, when he goes to go outside, he rolls right through it because he goes to the bathroom and he keeps going and he drags that ass in through it. So, listen, my bet, he calls me sis, and he says, sis, you just got to do it when you feel like you can do it. And again, Weston's lost muscle in the back end because he's not using it, but he's pretty strong in his front end. Like, he gets around pretty good. I let him out front the other day and went to throw something in the trash and went back out, and the neighbor across the street was walking her dogs, and he was already in the street. So he's getting around pretty good. The reason Rick has to take off work is because we have a huge doggy door, and, Smith still goes out there. Well, Weston will try to go out there, and then he'll be stuck out there, and he can't get back in. He'll get down the stairs, but he won't be able to get back up the stairs. So, plus, I'm just not comfortable knowing that I'm just not comfortable with him being home alone. It's very tough. Very tough. As a matter of fact, it's something that I don't talk about a lot. Rubber Ramada, you said their YouTube channel. And make sure you go check out Hawkeye's Loves Nature's channel. Absolutely. I'm trying to see where you shared that at on that channel. Hawkeye's is really good about sharing all the channels. Rubber Ramada Reviews. Now, is that, man, I'm going to sound like a fool. What was your name before it was Rubber Ramada? Rubber Ramada. You did the Nick Reiner. Now, that case is interesting. Now that he's got a public defender. It's kind of weird. Real Housewives of YouTube. I'm going to have to go check it out. Definitely check it out. I'm sure I've seen it before, but had you just changed the name? Rubber, I've left Wisconsin and on my journey. Follow my other channel, please. Videos there. And Hawkeyes did share it. That's right. It is my choice. It's an awful choice. I don't see me making that choice anytime soon. Rubber Ramada says, I got it saved, Journey. Got it saved. Not questioning myself. You're right. There's Steelhole's channel. Perfect. Perfect. And there is Hawkeye's channel too. Hawkeye's Loves Nature. Follow my heart. I'm trying. Back to my football. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Rick is in there watching football too. In listening mode. Hugs. All great to catch alive. We are so glad to have you. And I'm going to go check out your channel some more and watch it. See what all you got. Appreciate you. Love having you here. It is awful. It is awful. Anytime. Listen, if you have animals, then you love your animals, right? They're like part of your family. I get frustrated when I see dogs chained up outside and stuff. Why does people even get animals if they're not going to make them part of their family? I don't know. It's just kind of crazy, huh? What was your name before you were a Rubber? That's right. What was your channel before you were Rubber? I am not doing trials on this channel for a bit. No computer. Yeah, she left her computer in Wisconsin. Not sure. Also, get one of those things that have wheels for back legs and attaches to dog's body with a harness. You know, the problem with that is the stairs and getting through the house. I mean, you got to realize he's a 135-pound dog. He's a big German Shepherd, and then you're going to put wheels on the back of him. And the way he has to drag, I don't think a wheelchair is going to work for him. I really don't. I think it would cause him more problems than it would help him. And Journey can tell you, he gets around great, pulling himself along. I just don't have the room to be able to have him with the wheelchair. It would catch on everything. It just would. Ugh, that nurse today. F you. Journey says, I thought you knew. Hawkeye says to Journey, I thought you knew the other name. Brian Ramble says, love Ladybug. It's 50 pounds. Yeah, that's Brian's dog. And Girly Girl just had to put their dog Lady down. Had some cancer and had some things going on. I know that was hard too. Brian's on a walker now. I knew that. What name, Hawkeyes? I'm lost. Not so sure. Also, hello. Brian says she does fine with outfit on pads. Works. You know, Brian, you ought to see the little thing that, well, hold on. Let me see. Let me send. Do I got a picture? I don't know if I got the picture. Oh, okay. Hold on. I can do it this way. Let me pull up YouTube. Come on. You need a thing like she does for Murphy. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to pull it up so you can see it. It is hard to find that channel sometimes. It's hard to get get your channel, even though I'm subscribed to it. Even when I sit here and put it in, it's still hard to get your channel. We need to make that easier, Journey. Because this, every time I go to get to your channel, it's so hard to get to for me. Am I doing something wrong? I mean, it shows up in my feed, but why is it so hard to get to? Murphy's Travel. Does anybody else have problems getting to it? Does she need to make the name easier? Or is that just, am I just the dumb one? Is that the problem? I'm the dumb one? I don't know. Okay. I think it's me. It's always me. Oh, make a try. Oh, hold on. Get back to chat here. FUBC has huge litter box. There you go. Don't judge me. My lady is fine. That's right. Make a trabio like the Indians used to. Yeah, that's an idea. Like I said, I got a big dog. Yes, I have it. It's just so hard to get to. Am I the only one that has a problem bringing your channel up? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Every time I go to bring up that channel, I have a hard time. I don't know. But here it is. And I'm going to mute it because if the music's still playing, I don't want to get flagged a second time. But I want to show Brian what you do with that little band he's got on. Well, here. They make it for big dogs, too. That was in the hotel room. Murphy's so relaxed. There you go. I have it saved, too. Anyway, there you go. There you go. Let's see here. I got it subscribed. I got it with the bell. Everything's on. I don't know. It's probably just me. Yes, Murphy is so cute. Look at the baby. Ruff. Murphy is so cute. That's right. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to get off here. Is Surviving the Survivor still on? Let me see that, too. See if that's still on. He was also on another channel. It was kind of crazy. Joel was on another channel. I don't know if he was still live when he was doing that other channel, too. Let's see here. I want to go back and watch what they did tonight. Like I said, I really enjoyed the guests he has on there, too. You think they're done? Okay. Did they happen to say? We're going to skip through it real quick. 39 minutes ago.
Today, the man accused of murdering Spencer
Maybe
Monique
the
Tepe
channel in the
walked
chat.
into an Illinois courtroom quite arrogantly, I must say, with his head held high and chin up in the air. He waived extradition and is headed back to Columbus, Ohio to face two counts of aggravated murder.
Okay, let's see here. Hopefully they tell us what his history is.
Lot about his personality, but he is a surgeon. He's a highly skilled vascular surgeon. You know, he can be pretty intense and focused, and many surgeons are very self-centered or narcissistic. I mean, that's all kind of a leap, but it goes with a strong personality that might have that kind of a complex.
Yeah, my father's a doctor, my uncle's a doctor, my brother-in-law's a doctor, my sister's a doctor, and there's a joke. What is the difference between God and a doctor? And that is that God does not know everything. That is a joke, everybody. But I use that with my mother. I use that with my mother, Darby Fox. I say, what's the difference between God and my mother? God does not know everything. However, Jeff Wenninger, to you, you know, we got our first glimpse of him. We're looking at him in court. A lot of people don't believe the booking sheet where he's listed as 6'1", 200 pounds, I believe. Just say he looks a lot bigger. You've had some time to digest it. I mean, there was a level of arrogance about him when he walked in. Chin in the air, very stoic. What do you make of that, having a couple hours to sort of sit on it?
Well, I think it's consistent with the personality of somebody that would commit these type of heinous crimes, especially after being divorced for the period of time that he was. He clearly harbored some resentment, and I believe he has some sense of superiority. I'm sure he has some blame replacement and those sorts of things where he doesn't see himself. He sees himself actually as the victim, and that he, in his mind, is justified in some way in regards to the way he acted out.
Listen, I'm not under the impression he did it to brag or anything like that. I want to know what exactly they were in court for right before this happened. I have a feeling it's about money. And it seems like doctors and police officers, for one, they can't stand when somebody leaves them. When they stop the relationship, they can't stand it. They can never let go. And when it has to do with money, they can never stop about money either. So it'd be interesting to see what they were in family court for.
That's what
he did it to brag.
Tends to suggest to me the way he's carrying himself. I suspect that he would be difficult to rattle. I believe he thinks he's probably the smartest guy in the room, but when the detectives
another trait that cops
some type of
and doctors
reading
have,
of his personality,
and attorneys,
trying to find the ways they can identify areas that he may be vulnerable, where they could get him to expose some of his inner thoughts and perhaps motivations, and why he would do something of this nature. That he may explain those sorts of things just to be understood, and let people believe that he's not actually the one at fault here.
Yeah, and Jay, I'll have you unmute and mute you guys. I'm sorry you have to keep doing that, Jay and Jeff. But here's a much earlier picture.
Now, I've heard two stories on that girly girl. I heard that she wanted a real expensive ring, and he wasn't going to get that one for her until she got it herself. I mean, I don't know. But there's plenty of people that do buy their own rings because they want a certain one. I'm not real sure what happened there.
Looks physically a little bit different. Obviously, the glasses, and he's a little more kempt in the, or maybe more unkempt in the mugshot. But, Jay, when you were on the show Saturday, when this arrest was happening and we were bringing it to you live, the breaking news, Phil Waters, who's investigated 400 homicides, basically said, and you agreed with him at the time, this is a guy, and Jeff just said it, who probably thinks he's the smartest one in the room. What would your tactic be inside that interview room? I think Saturday you said something along the lines of just giving him enough rope to hang himself. Do you still stand by that?
I do. This is an individual that's controlled the narrative throughout his life. He's been at the top end, and he wants to be heard. The way to get him to talk, or a person of that nature to get him to talk, is let him talk about themselves. Let them air their grievances, and if not be sympathetic, certainly be neutral. If you come at this guy hard or you're accusatory immediately, he'll shut down. He wants to be heard.
Yes, I know it was listed in the divorce papers that she wanted to keep the rings because she paid for them. I get that. I don't know the circumstance. I mean, you can ask Rick. I paid for ours. So I don't know. Interesting.
The pictures in between, obviously the arrest put a lot of stress on him, but I think that's an indicative of this spiral he's been going through. I mean, he looks certainly happy in the first picture, and then not only being arrested, but the stress of,
if something happens to him, it's going in my property too.
Of this unwinding of this perfect life has taken its toll on this gentleman.
And I'm, you just look into those eyes; they are dead eyes, at least in the mugshot. Not always, here on the.
You know what? This is what's so crazy, and they did this in the Brian Koberger case too. Like, I mean, he's taking a picture for a mugshot. What's he supposed to do? I mean, Gosh, I should go pull my mugshot picture. Did I have dead eyes? I don't know. Maybe I did. I stole my dog. Who knows?
The right side, he looks like he does have life and almost some charisma. And here's another photo that the COE was able to get. Chief of everything for those who are.
He looks a lot smaller there. Do you think this guy did roids too? I mean, I don't know. I'm just questioning it. Looks a lot smaller here than he does in his pictures now. Maybe he was roid raged. Now, don't start that all over the internet. I'm just saying. He looks a lot bigger now.
Or new to the show. Mark Weaver, talk to us about, and we're going to again dig deeper into the divorce, what happened, why there was something that was flagged in 2025, but we also have to get to the big news today, and that is again his initial court appearance where he waived extradition.
Let's try to skip to it.
Dealing with roid rage, not to.
Oh my God! I'm telling you guys, I have not watched this at all. Had not heard them say roid rage. I just saw that skinny picture and thought, damn, he's a lot bigger. Could it be roid rage? And I hear it right now. I just happened to get to the right spot. Sounds like Joel said the same thing.
And when you look at these photos here is he, and granted, this is, years ago, but this is him and Monique probably dating back close to 10 years. This is him on a boat right here. And he looks much smaller. And then you go to him in court today. Jeff Weninger, I mean, you were basically a professional hockey player for all intents and purposes, minus your injuries. Does this guy look like a guy to you that might be juicing and could be dealing with roid rage? Not to. I don't want to set off the rumor mill, but a lot of people are asking about that.
I wouldn't like to speculate on that, actually. I mean, bottom line is I was an athlete, but if you compare me now to what I looked like 10 years ago, I'm much heavier, and someone might accuse me of being on steroids, which I'm not. But at the end of the day, I mean, he is a large guy, but I don't
say you can tell the difference usually because just because you're heavier, it's more fat. Okay, where this guy bulked up, he went from skinny to bulky in his shoulders, everywhere. That's usually steroids.
I don't see any muscle development that would, in my mind, would be consistent with anything that would identify.
I do. The first thing that hit my mind.
But I can see why someone would think so. But typically, that roid rage scenario, it's more like in the moment. Somebody ticks you off, and you act out right in that moment, out of impulsive and inability to control yourself in a moment of anger, and not something where you're going to have this premeditation where you're going to drive all the way from Rockford, Illinois to Ohio and have this whole thing planned on how you're going to enter the location and how you're going to carry this thing out. So
I still think he took roids.
I don't think that would be indicative of steroids.
I've actually seen people that's had roid rage, and them roids, they shoot that shit in their ass, but it affects them mentally. They're real easy to get ticked off. I could see it. I still think he was triggered by whatever they were going to court for, and hopefully they're going to say it in here because I still don't know what they went to court for in family law, like right before this.
Like to satiate the needs of STS Nation, and obviously Jeff Weninger. That's why I prefaced it by saying the guy is a natural specimen, and I can attest to the fact it gets a little harder to stay in shape as you get older. That is for damn sure. But Darby Fox, the other question that just comes up over and over and over again: what set him off so long after this divorce? Now they were divorced. According to records, and again, we're going to dive a little deeper as we go here, but I believe married in 2015, divorced in 2017, but only together for reportedly 8 months. And there are apparently some bumps in the marriage, which is why they got divorced. But if the marriage ends in 2017 and now we're in 2016, why so long? Could this guy have been brewing and stewing for that long, Darby?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't really think there's any doubt that that's what it is. There's something about the relationship, and certainly someone telling him no, that he did not like and never settled with him. For it is very abnormal to come back that much later when he, as we've said, is a successful You know, he's got a surgeon's career. He lives in a different state. There weren't previous children that they shared. So it would seem.
Let me ask, Brian, so where is this wedding video at that got slammed? Like, is it on YouTube and maybe it got highlighted and got into the algorithm so many people were looking at it? Because I just don't understand why somebody thinks that this guy just kept reviewing that video so many times and that's what sent him over the edge, because I don't think that's true. Where is this video at? Check my Venmo. Okay. Where is this video at? Let's go.
Seem like he would just move on and he would be a powerful man and just like find someone else. Something about a domestic violence cycle where he had an in for her, and her happiness was probably what really set him off. And it took him a certain amount of time. It just kept brewing. And I mean, we don't have the actual background yet to know, but there was something there that he didn't let go. And that is common of someone that would be capable of a double murder like this, particularly with two small children in the other room.
And Joel, there's a clue here.
Yep.
You sent me this document, so I looked at it. Maybe other people could see it, but I can see it as a lawyer. Look at the top of the document.
Hey, COE, can we bring that up? Can you please pull that up?
Yeah, we're seeing it now.
Oh, we're looking. Okay, this is it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want everybody at home to look at the top of the document. It says defendant. And in Ohio, we call a divorce where there's no children involved typically a dissolution, but it has the same effect as a divorce. So there's a dissolution attempt. He's the defendant, which means she brought the action. He's living in Virginia, which means he has moved out of the state. And if you move if everybody looks to the right of defendant, it says attorney Michael McKee. That means he's pro se. That's Latin for on your own. So these are little clues we can use to suggest that she was the one who wanted the divorce. He's now living in Virginia. He didn't want to get a lawyer. He could afford a lawyer, right? Got to imagine he could, no matter what kind of surgery or doctor he was, he could afford $2,000 for a local lawyer to help him deal with that. So those are some clues that would suggest that this divorce was her doing.
Yeah, and I'm very glad, and this is why Mark is here. So she basically is the catalyst.
Good luck in your pool game. Thanks, Steelhole, for coming by. Hawkeyes, thank you for the donation on the Venmo for the gas for the trip. You know, it's very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
For the divorce. COE, do we have the 2025 document? Now, everyone has asked, well, there was something from, oh, this is it. Okay, so.
Well, what they got on the screen right now, this is from June 17th of 2025. And, well, wait a minute. Date 9/26/25 at courtroom 9 a.m. The magistrate there. It's a domestic trial / it says CUST, like custody. Domestic trial / CUST. Notice print date was 6/17/2025. Notice mail date was 6/17/2025. Name Michael D. McKee. 6/17/25. Original copy of hearing notice filed. Courtroom 9/26/25, 9 a.m. And it's got the magistrate again. So that's recent. That was just September.
In 2025, something comes. It's hard for me to read this. The yellow arrow is a relocation notice, Mark. What is this in 2025? Would there have to be? Apparently, he moves into a new condo, which is right here from this is the new condo. He moves in on the lake in Chicago, right on the lake in Lincoln Park, which is a beautiful neighborhood. Is this documentation here suggesting that he was supposed to give some sort of notice to the court when he moved within a certain distance of Monique Tepe? That's what we're trying to figure out. What this 2020
that's got nothing to do with a protection order. A relocation notice has to do when there are children between the couple, and the judge has to make arrangements for child visitation and or custody to be done between those two places. So it looks like there's an N next to relocation notice, which I'm not a divorce lawyer. I've done about a dozen divorces in my career, but I'm happily not doing them. I'd rather prosecute child rapists and murderers than do divorces, frankly. But what I can glean from that is that's the standard form where if Mary and Bob were getting divorced and they had children, if Bob was
you put the Michigan Lake. Do you realize that that teacher that was missing out of Chicago, Illinois, they found her in Michigan Lake, I believe this morning. She must have jumped in there or something. They said she had mental issues, but it was a teacher that was missing.
Going to relocate somewhere, the judge would have to make accommodations for what becomes of the children's visitation or joint custody if we have parents in two different states.
Okay, now if you look where it says docket, and again, sorry to the other guests for belaboring this for a minute, but we got flagged by so many people about this. The docket there, you can see that.
You know, I didn't realize how many people are on the rewatch and watch. Like, I guess I always just thought the people that's in here right now, you know, when you watch live and nobody else watches. But when the channel got taken, I woke up and it was gone. I got like 50 emails from people. What happened to the channel? I always watch it the next day. Listen, I appreciate everybody watching it. We don't do this channel, you know, for money, for clout, anything. Originally, you know, we was boots on the ground looking for Veronica and Jillian. And we've just kept the channel up. We've become a really good family. We just cover a lot of cases, but our main cases that we cover is the Kansas mom's case. But yes, it's been great having you here. It, like I said, it took me getting all them emails to realize that people actually watch it later. Because I guess I figured if you wasn't here watching it, then you probably just don't watch it, you know, kind of fizzed out. I don't know that I could sit and watch me either, to be honest. I can't stand to sit and play something back myself and listen to myself. It drives me insane. But I do appreciate that you guys all watch. And, you know, if this was for me, I wouldn't do it. I enjoy getting us all here together. We get to discuss things. Everybody gets to think the way they want to think and gets to sit in here and talk. That's what I enjoy. That's what I also enjoy about a small channel. You know, you can go over to Joel's, and yes, he's got a great channel, but more than likely, they're not going to see your comment. At least here, when we're all here, you know, and even in the replays, you guys always comment. I answer every comment. So it is nice.
The dates that are all in 2025. I guess the bottom line question, back to Mark for just 1 second on this, if you'll indulge me, is why, after being divorced in 2017, is something popping on a docket in 2025 related to the dissolution of their marriage? I guess I just don't get it.
Yeah, that is. First of all, this is the first I've talked to some reporters about this. You're the first one to point this out, and I think it is worthy discussing. Again, I told you I did some divorces in my career.
You know, I am going to say this, and I'm not going to single anybody out, but when I'm doing a live and I keep getting text by somebody that's not even in the chat telling me what I'm doing wrong, it's annoying. I'm just going to throw that out there. You're sitting in the back, you're watching the channel, and you're messaging me what I'm doing wrong. Well, what the fuck? No, I don't mind people sitting in the back watching the replay and stuff. If you can do better, let me drop the link. You get up here and do better. I'll mute myself and I'll let you do it. How about that? How about that?
Non-child divorces where there are no kids involved are rather simple. There's no child custody question. There's no child support.
Let me reiterate. This person has not said one word in the chat, but they're sure watching and sure texting me on everything that I can do better.
Question, and there's no child visitation. It's all about division of property, and sometimes about what people call alimony, which is really spousal support. But I raise that to say it happens easily and quickly. And the fact that the now Mrs. Tepe got married tells us that the divorce was granted. The notion of the case having any action in years later, any action, in 2025 suggest that there has been contact between them and that somebody is asking the court to take some sort of step to enforce something from the original
You're great,
decree, if
Brian.
you will.
Everybody
It's
that's
very
great.
odd. I see this in child custody cases all the time.
I just don't understand. It's one thing if you're busy and you're doing something, like Hawkeyes might be cooking or, girly girl can't listen while she's at work. If you're literally just sitting there to try to critique everything that we're doing wrong here, then why are you here? And like I said, it's not anybody in chat. It's somebody that obviously is in the background you're watching and thinks they can do a better thing. Why don't you get a channel? We'll be sure to come over and check it out when you get a channel. How about that?
Or child support. Bob doesn't get the custody of the kids. Mary gets custody of the kids. And 5 years later,
Brian,
Bob
right?
finds out Mary's on drugs. So Bob goes to the court and asks for a hearing so that we can learn about Mary's drug habit and Mary won't be the custodial parent anymore. So you expect a court to be alerted later when there's child issues ongoing. But a couple who breaks up with no children, typically they go their own ways, never to meet again. So clearly
Brian, I feel the same way. You won't see me over watching somebody else's channel that I can't stand or I can't stand their voice or something, let alone be in the bushes watching, texting that person the shit that they feel like they're doing wrong. Like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously? That's just crazy stuff.
And investigators are better ones.
That's stalker stuff. You're in the back watching and trying to text me while we're live. What?
Talk about this than I am, but
Yeah.
as I mentioned on Law and Crime the other night, I can only think of three ways to get into a house
exactly
in the middle of the night. Either you break in and they say there's no forced entry, or you have the code. They say it was a code, kind of a lock, or someone has let you in. I don't know of any other ways to get into the house. And so what that suggests is if there's no forced entry, he either has the code and got in because he didn't guess it, or he was allowed in, which is very odd in the middle of the night. And this data point that you have up on the screen, I think, is probably connected to that.
Interesting. So, everyone, this is a very important document, and you can tell here, this is a former Deputy Attorney General of Ohio, and he's taken some best guesses at it, not to be confused with best guess, but someone here is saying maybe it has something to do with custody of assets, and the reason it's come up, we're a pet-friendly show here, everybody. Maybe custody of the dog. I don't know.
So the divorce couldn't be granted until all the issues are resolved. That's the nature of divorces. Judges or magistrates will not issue a divorce decree until the two people have finished all their business, if you will. Again, I've had to quarrel with opposing counsel on some of these divorces. What about the toaster? What about this? What about the other? Until that's all resolved, you can't even get in front of the judge to get a decree granted.
Yeah. So Jay,
we cover all tragedies. There's nothing in true crime that's great to look at. It's all tragedies.
Fulton, you're a retired detective in this very jurisdiction, the Columbus Police Department. How important is it for you to figure out here what this document is about and why it looks like something was docketed from their divorce proceedings now in it looks like September, or my eyesight's going and it's impossible to see, but roughly September of 2025. I mean, Jay, how do you get to the bottom of this? I guess detectives are much better than journalists because I know you're going to get a straight answer from someone, but how?
Well, you're going to track this. You're going to track down the magistrate and see what he was pro se. So you don't have a lawyer that would probably shoot straight with you. But he had his own personal reasons for doing this, whether he's just doing this because he wants to stir the pot. He's stirred. And so how can she won't take my phone calls anymore. She's changed her number. She's not answering. She hangs up. So how can I make her respond? Well, the courts are often used by couples separating as a cudgel on the other party. And it's because the court has to do what the court has to do.
No, that's not always necessary. Listen, some people can get a divorce and divide things up and it's fine. Some people get a divorce, they fight over the kids, they fight over everything. And unfortunately, the judge has to figure it out. The judge has to decide. Because some people, they all think they're right. We don't know what happened yet, right?
Frivolous filings will guarantee, I can't get her to respond to me, but a frivolous filing is going to ensure that she has to, because the court's going to make her. Whether this is based on any property that ever existed, any perceived slight, she's not responding to his attentions now at this point. And he's not a dumb guy. So he knows one way to ensure that she's at least got to respond to the court is I can control her by making her have to run down to court to answer to me. And I think that would be a way he could increase the stress on her and the discomfort on her. And I think that was the.
Well, Brian, I will say this. Many people say, I'm going to kick your ass, but they're really not going to kick your ass. Many people say, oh, I'm going to kill you. You do this and I'm going to kill you. And they're really not going to do it. So when people say things, you can't always think what they're saying is going to be true. But nowadays, it seems like people will just do anything.
Target of this. It's probably based on nothing other than his animosity towards her and her new relationship.
Yeah, and to Mark Weaver's point, Jen and Ken asking, wasn't the divorce official? Yeah, by all means, it was official, but obviously something got triggered in September of this past year, and maybe that's what set this guy off. We're trying to figure out what that is in real time, and I always apologize to the guests. I'm sorry when we have four. I love to give everyone a lot of time, and I'm doing my best here. But Mark Weaver had some answers on this document that was docketed fairly recently. But Jeff Weninger, and then back to Darby after that. We're doing a whole show here with the thumbnail digging deeper on Dr. McKee, and we're looking at this record. But how important is it for detectives to dig deeper on Michael McKee as well? What are they doing in terms of putting together a biography of this guy?
Well, first, I'd like to say that I believe that this perhaps was actually the trigger. And if you look at the evidence of what we know, Spencer, he had multiple rounds. He appears to have been the target. And yes, his wife was also the target, but there may have been some circumstance where Spencer was stepping in for his wife to.
Somebody said that in Ohio, I don't know, but they said in Ohio, when you get a divorce, they do a restraining order so you can take care of your business without being bothered. It's like a common practice, but I don't know.
Address some of these issues of what they perceived as harassment from
that happened
the
to you, Brian.
ex-husband.
That's horrible.
And that would have infuriated the ex-husband even more, and then wanting to target Spencer. And that's why we see multiple rounds to Spencer and only one round to Monique. But the reality is you've always have the open source stuff. That's going to be the social media, chat rooms, all those sorts of things. You always have the human aspect, or you're going to be talking to colleagues, friends, family, anybody that knew this individual in any way, shape, or form is going to be interviewed. And then it's the technology, and it's a technology of the cameras and those sorts of things that brought us to where we are today. But it's exhaustively going through those three areas that is going to bring you the information that you're going to need to successfully prosecute this case. But I do believe that Jay is spot on relative to the thoughts in this proceeding in the family court, and the wanting to take control or assert some level of control over Monique. And my guess is that Spencer did what many husbands would do, would step in to try to protect, and rather than her engaging in that communication in which the ex-husband wanted, it was Spencer, which then probably escalated things.
Yeah, that's an excellent explanation. And Philly shoulder surgeon, COE, if you can put that back up. But Darby, to you, the question was essentially, could it have been, apparently he was having trouble passing his board certified exams and was maybe doing something with varicose veins instead of something else that he wanted to do as a vascular surgeon. Could the trigger for this have been for lack of a better way to say it, failures at work that now made him that much more contemptuous towards his ex-wife?
I don't know absolutely, but what typically would happen, I would say no. I would say a man of this power, or woman, he just happens to be a man, is their ego is so strong and they only see themselves. And as we talked about his courtroom appearance today, he seemed like he was really a little bothered and above everybody that he was there. That kind of person is not going to have sort of a missed board certification or something and feel kind of like, okay, now I'm going to go get Monique. I don't think that is his mindset. I think he's probably had this in the mind since she filed for divorce, and she did file for divorce to him. That's a very hard thing to swallow if you're someone with that kind of a mindset. It's like, I will get you. And it's taken a certain amount of time to get there, is what is a more typical psychological profile.
Yeah, I mean, Darby, can you think of a recent example where, an ex exacts revenge 9-10 years later? I feel like it's always sort of heat of the moment, like the divorce goes south, there's a custody, whatever it is, and then the crime is carried out. I can't think of anything that's as delayed as almost a decade long.
I don't, and typically the pattern is, even in very contentious divorces, and I work with lots of them as a therapist or a parenting coordinator, it typically, once we get through the major stuff and the financial arrangement, people move on. And I don't know of any that are this far out. Usually it could be right when they get a ruling or as soon as someone engages in another significant relationship, but it's not typically this far out.
I shouldn't say this. I'm going to say she's wrong on that, because I know many people, it's been over 10 years and their ex still is hung up on them, still harasses them, and they're remarried even. So, I mean, that's not uncommon. I've seen it. I don't find that to be uncommon.
Because he's unstable. I mean,
well, that's for sure. Yeah. I always say in news, other people's misfortunes sometimes propels people in news, and because of the story, it's bittersweet. But we've gotten a lot of new viewers. So for those who are not familiar, Surviving the Survivor, my mother's a child Holocaust survivor. She hosted
I've heard that 1,000 times.
The hearing that was scheduled earlier, I guess 3 months ago, 4 months ago, in late 2025.
COE, I know you're going to be on.
One of my colleagues, I think it was a very smart thing. One of my colleagues just mentioned that when you can't get somebody to react to you, if you've got that stalker mentality, filing something with the court forces them to show up. And the fact that the court has docketed it doesn't mean there's any truth to it. The court has to docket it, and the court has to schedule some form of a hearing, if only to see what's up. And so the next step for journalists should be to find the filing that this man made to trigger, you'll pardon the bad reference, trigger, but to trigger the hearing that was scheduled earlier, I guess 3 months ago, 4 months ago, in late 2025.
COE, I know you're going to be on that for sure. Yes, this is great insights. I said we've got the best guests in true crime. You're getting great panels here. Look at this from Abby Crossing, friend of mine, friend of the show's. Won $100 on a scratcher today, paying it forward. Jeff, who do you need to speak to in this guy's orbit? I mean, he's been all over the place. He's down in Virginia. He's out in Las Vegas, Rockford, Illinois. I mean, how many people can you track down and speak to?
Well, I mean, his, exposure to all kinds of different types of relationships, and I don't mean intimate relationships. I just mean relationships in regards to friendships or family members and those sorts of things, or colleagues are quite vast. You're talking about 10 years from the time that they got divorced. And actually, I want to know prior to that, because the one thing that we do have in common is that all three of these individuals went to the Ohio State. Now, Spencer was 2 years younger than Monique, and I won't even say his name, the defendant here. But, at the end of the day, you kind of wonder, did they all know each other? And the fact that Monique ended up with Spencer, perhaps if they knew each other, that may have been part of the equation relative to why this would have escalated. And I see that if he was struggling perhaps to pass his board, I don't see that the failure to pass the board would be why he then began to spiral downward. I would see it conversely the other way, that he has been spiraling for a while, and it had just escalated to the point where now it was starting to impact other areas of his life, which made it difficult for him to perform in his testing and stuff to be certified. I think to me that just may demonstrate how over time he was spiraling worse, and it was impacting him in other areas of his life, and then ultimately acted out in the way he did.
Philadelphia shoulder surgeon, a longtime friend of the show, with us for the Ellen Greenberg story, always with us. COE Joel, that is his, obviously she is
Yeah, Brian, that was a song that Toby Keith had that's going through Journey's head right now.
Medical doctor, handling, as you guys guessed it, shoulders. That is his training license during his residency. This would not be his license as an attending surgeon, and I don't think it shows here, reports are that he's not board certified, which means that, he can't practice in some of the areas that he might want to practice in. And that's why maybe he was dealing with varicose veins. And if I was dealing with varicose veins, I would, lose my mind in my own way, but not by a double homicide. Abby Crossing from Judy Herbert. I'm a huge Tennessee.
I think you definitely have to figure out, did she know this guy at Ohio State? Were they just an acquaintance? Is that how they connected, like on a Bumble screen where they both, Ohio State, so they decided that was a great connection? It's a little unclear, but it does seem like she'd been through a lot, is in her vows, are implying, I've been through a lot to find the right man.
Yeah, for sure. There's a question here, Mark, that I think I can answer just as a host. And the answer is no. Will he get bail? Is there any circumstance in the world where a guy accused of double homicide, especially aggravated, is going to get out of jail pending a trial, Mark Weaver?
He's entitled to a bail hearing. I don't know any judge who would, in this case, grant a low bail. I mean, they may grant a high bail, several $1 million. One of the reasons you can withhold bail in Ohio is if the person's a danger to community. Ironically, this person is probably not a danger to the community. That's no reason why he should be let out. His anger appears to be focused on one person, but the flight risk is so high. That's the hard thing, because he is facing essentially life in prison or perhaps the death penalty. It's the flight risk that keeps him from getting any kind of bail that would let him out.
I have to say, and again, I'm just going to put this out there, and the COE will yell at me. Thank you for your coverage. I'm also covering this case. There are some questions. There are more questions than answers. That's usually the case, but thank you. And Allison Good, I bet he guessed the alarm code, and it might have been their anniversary or family birthday. That's possible. But Darby here.
Well, do we know that he was getting terminated, Brian? Did I miss that part? How do we know he was getting terminated? Maybe that job was ending and he went to another one. I don't know. I'm just asking.
This has come up over and over. I have not independently been able to confirm this, but so many people have reached out to say this guy was adopted. So as a hypothetical, in a hypothetical situation, is someone who is adopted more likely to experience abandonment issues? I mean, I know a lot of people who are adopted and they are beautiful human beings. Yeah, Jeff Weninger is one of them.
You're right.
Great people.
Very well.
This is obviously no reason to go and kill two people, but might he, if this is the case, if it is true, might may he have felt abandonment as a result?
Absolutely. And it isn't that abandonment issues couldn't come up with any child, depending on how they were raised. But if there were issues with the adoption or issues with his adopted parents, and then he would tend to think, okay, I'm always being abandoned. I'm never quite good enough. And, further down the road, we don't know his history, but clearly there was something about Monique that she abandoned him too, and he wasn't going to take that. And that's clearly sort of the motive. So in and of itself, would that be an abandonment issue? Not necessarily. There are many amazing adoptive families where that wouldn't come up, but there's clearly something in his background, and we also know something's off because you don't hold that kind of a intense grudge for 10 years without he was still trying to find a way to get her, it seems like, that entire time. And the family knew that, friends knew that, or they wouldn't have called. I mean, it was the holiday season, so if a professional, a dentist, doesn't show up at work during the holiday seasons, it's not that likely that someone would be making a 911 call if they weren't in the office until a little later in the morning. I don't think.
Getting some comments from people who've been adopted. I was adopted. I have abandonment issues. I face them head on. Good for you, man. Johnny on the spot. And Canine Catherine, I think, just said that. I did not know that. And I've known her for years. Jeff, I just want to, I mean, this is very personal. I don't want to put you on the spot in any way unless you care to comment on this.
No, I'll comment on it. I was adopted, and I also have a brother who's half Japanese who's adopted. And we often say that we won the adoption lottery. Our parents were wonderful, and the opportunities that they provided us were unbelievable. And but later in our lives, my father, he was terminally ill, and he said, "I don't know if you understand this, but in the state of Ohio, they've changed some legislation, and you have a right to get some identifiable information." And I never had any interest in meeting my parents. I never even thought about it. But I thought, well, I'll reach out because I'd like to say thank you and let my mother know that I turned out okay. At least I think so. And so I did, and I've met her, and I've got 3 half siblings, and my brother actually met his birth mother as well, and he has 3 half siblings. But they don't replace our family. They're not our family. We don't have any experiences being raised with them. I've never had an abandonment issue whatsoever. My mother passed away from glioblastoma, which is a very significant brain cancer, and it takes you pretty quickly. She died when I was 16, and that was traumatic to me. So if I had abandonment issues, it was dealing with the trauma of losing my mother, who I was so close to at the age of 16. And yes, I think that impacted the relationships that I had. I didn't get married until very late in life. And it's because I kept relationships at an arm's length, because I didn't want to lose somebody else that I cared for. And so I think it took me a long time to understand that. But in regards to being adopted, absolutely no abandonment issues whatsoever.
Wow. And is your brother, is he older or younger than you?
He's younger than I am.
Younger.
And
wow.
He has. I met my birth father. He's passed. My birth mother's still alive. But I did meet my birth father. My brother, he met his birth mother, but not father.
And when you told your birth mother and father, if you were able to, that you were a lieutenant in the LAPD, what was their reaction? I'd be proud.
I mean, they were kind of impressed. It's kind of interesting. When I met my mother, I can't say I was expecting to have some type of connection. I just didn't. From the minute I laid eyes on her, there just wasn't anything there. My father, on the other hand, it all made sense. We are cut from the same cloth. We thought alike. We had very similar careers. He's my dad. It made sense.
Wow. Places that you will go during STS, you never know. But thank you for sharing that, Jeff. I'll have you re-mute there because of the audio glitch. I appreciate it. January, I did not know this, is National Stalking Awareness Month, NSAM, an annual call to action to recognize and respond to the serious crime of stalking. We should do something on this. And I had no idea until right about now. The COE giving me a hard out in 20 minutes, but we still have plenty of time because I can get a lot in there. Jay Fulton, and then we'll go back around the horn. Michael McKee, financial snapshot here. When he was in the Virginia hospital system, I guess as a resident, he was making $51K a year. At that time, his wife, whose maiden last name is Sabatursky, Monique Sabatursky, she was working with Nationwide. Income growth went from 32K to 35K to 41K, bonuses of 10,000, real estate, the property they owned in Virginia, which ultimately was given, or, the share was However, they did it legally, was given over to Michael McKee. That was valued at $219,500. Vehicles, just to give you guys, I mean, this is everything that we've been coming up with. A Jeep and a Toyota RAV, two Jeep Grand Cherokees and a Toyota RAV. While the divorce actually shows at the end of the day here, no custody fights, no DV, no chaos. That's important. Jay Fulton, one of the things that is revealed here in these divorce documents from 2017, there was no reports of domestic violence or even domestic violence allegations, but it appears she wanted out, and she wanted out quickly. The marriage wasn't, the dissolution didn't happen for 2 years, but she was apparently out of the marriage for all intents and purposes after 7 or 8 months. But what does it tell you that there was no DV reported in that period of time?
Well, I think everybody on this panel realizes that that's not always something that is reported. So that's a possibility there. This may be, this is me surmising, but this is maybe Monique's holding out a carrot here. If you just go along with this and let me go, she's not out to ruin him. She's not out to challenge his medical license. That's if there was violence, or if there was that type of thing in the home, I mean, that is certainly a card that she could have played at some point during this proceeding. The fact that she didn't either means that there wasn't, or she was trying to take the high road on that. She just wanted away. And instead of holding his feet to the fire on something like that, that would have definitely pushed the issue forward.
I'm just kind of curious because I don't think when her and her husband, now the ones that got killed, I don't believe that she was divorced from Michael when they started seeing each other. So maybe Michael found out about the husband she has now when they were dating, and he just never got over that. Maybe she left Michael for him, right?
Forward in a more rapid fashion. She didn't want to damage his career. She was trying to maybe take the high road, if you will, and that didn't work out.
Someone here in the comments, and this is no truer statement has ever been stated here, but emotional abuse cannot be reported. I think that is, I mean, Darby, what about that? Can emotional abuse be reported?
Yeah, you can actually report all kinds of emotional abuse, and it's documented every day in especially contentious divorces. However, there isn't always a lot you can do about it because, and anybody there is more of an expert than I, but it's hearsay. If I say you did that, I would have to have proof. So emotional abuse is often much more damaging, but it is very hard to have a criminal charge on something someone says to you. And I believe while she could have been taking the high road, she could also be scared to death and say, I just want to get out. I'm going to leave you alone. Leave me alone. I've got to walk away. And so it could be the high road, but given the way that her life was ended, I might think she was scared to death and said, let me just move on. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I'm just going to get out of this.
That sounds like a really likely scenario.
Or maybe she met the new husband and she wanted out the other one. We don't know. They said that she wasn't completely divorced, but she met the new one.
One, I guess it's not.
Still, it's been 8 years. Why unalive him now? What exactly caused it? Something in court, I think. Did he just never get over her leaving him?
Obvious, but definitely a possibility here. Gloria says she bought her own engagement ring and wedding ring. We had that on Saturday, that news, and it was, interesting to see that she was purchasing that. And we just saw that he was making about $50,000 a year as a resident, which is not an overly high salary, and you put in all that time. And generally, doctors have a ton of loan payments, so they're in debt a bit. Darby, I just want to go back to you. You just look at his face. I don't want to say that there's any glee there. It's just like almost like a blank stare. But some people say he appeared satisfied at his initial hearing. Someone who's capable of doing this, what do you think is their mindset at a first appearance like this? I mean, do you think he feels justified in what he did in his own demented, depraved mind?
I don't know if I would say justified. I feel satisfied might be more appropriate. Like, I don't care. It's done. I did what I did. And there, if you look at his face, it's fairly vacant, right? Those eyes are pretty intense, and he's not really engaging in the world around him. And I don't think he really, frankly, cares.
Okay, so I want to stop right there. So he's in jail. He's being charged with 2 murders, and we all think he did it, right? But how's this man supposed to be looking right now? Like, I just don't understand how they're so judgmental on some of this stuff. No, I'm not on his side, but I can't look at his eyes and tell you that he's a killer or that they look hollow. Looks normal. Looks normal to me. I mean, what's the judge back there doing? See his eyes back there? What's his eyes look like?
We addressed this, by the way. I'm going to address it again. Hope you apologize to the dental office for making it seem. I never, ever, if you go back and watch a tape, ever made it seem like he had something to do with it. We all talked about the curiosity of the call. And I said it on the show yesterday. I said it earlier today, and I'll say it again, that our condolences go out to the family, and it goes out to the dental office where Spencer Tepe worked. I'm going to get to that site in one moment. But people were questioning, and guys like Jeff Wenninger and Jay Fulton, who are one is a detective, the other a lieutenant in the LAPD, are thinking of every single scenario. At one point, Jeff even suggested maybe it was a murder-suicide, and the kid was able to hide a toy gun or the real gun in a toy chest. So we were going over every possible scenario. I made it a point each and every time to say that we were not pointing the finger at them. And now, as we said in the earlier shows, we said that there would likely be context that came out. And knowing this, it seems pretty apparent that the people at the dental office knew that the guy you're looking at on the screen had an issue with Monique and maybe vice versa. And so they knew a lot more than we knew. And I want to be extremely clear about that. We try to be responsible here at Surviving Survivor. Not everyone is, and I try to be responsible running the show here with the great team that we have. So, Mark, here are your adversaries below you. We've got the retired LAPD lieutenant, and then you've got homicide detective Jay Fulton. Not your, they work side by side, but the defense attorneys, they're the adversaries. What are defense teams, the defense lawyer who's ultimately hired here, what are they going to do early on to exploit the work of the police? And by all accounts right now, it seems like the Columbus PD has done an amazing job. But what are they going to come out of the gates with here? Just have to unmute yourself, Mark. I'm sorry. How
about that? Am I unmuted now?
You're good. You're good. You are good.
The process of exchanging information between the two sides is called discovery, and prosecutors are required to give over nearly, not all, everything they have, including all the data, including statements. Particularly, they're required to turn over what's called Brady material, which is anything that might be exculpatory. And then the defense lawyers dig into that, trying to find a mistake, trying to find a procedural problem. If they have a procedural problem, they will file pretrial motions to exclude evidence, which could lead to the case being dismissed. We've not talked about it, and I have no inside knowledge about this guy's mental state, but maybe they can try to make some sort of insanity or mental incompetency. It seems like a stretch to me, but they have to work with what they have. And he's not going to pay them $100,000 to simply go in and plead him out to these charges. He's going to want a better resolution, or he's going to want them to fight. And if they fight, then that's going to mean pretrial motions, motion to dismiss, looking very hard to find things where the police made a mistake, in the hope that if the judge won't dismiss it, that the jury will think it was sloppy.
Jay Fulton, we talked about this earlier, and then I have Jeff Wayne as well. So we also are getting information about how police have linked Michael McKee to this crime. As COE, remind me to I'll take that shot in just 1 second. But Jay Fulton, investigators, according to reports, tracked a vehicle believed to belong to Michael McKee near the Tepe home during the 2 to 5 a.m. murder window. That vehicle is later located in Illinois. McKee is then arrested subsequently without incident in Rockford, Illinois. That's about 10 days after the crime. Walk us through that. I mean, what were the steps you think that led to this? Was it one detective or someone, you say, hey, watch all this video. Someone's watching the video. They see a vehicle. How you're looking?
Okay, I think you guys have already seen this part. We got through the good stuff. I'm going to stop that. No, tomorrow, Rick and Journey is cooking supper. I think Journey is making French fries and Rick's making hamburgers. I am not Rick. Oh, okay. No, I am not. I'm not Rick. Rick is not Rock. That's right. No. You are correct. They're making hamburgers. Now, I did do up the hamburgers. I did the hamburger patties. Actually, I did a bunch so that when I'm gone, Rick has them easy to cook. But Rick cooks all the time too. But Rick ain't cooked in probably 2 months. He gets to cook tomorrow night. Other than the turkeys. He made the turkey on Thanksgiving and the turkey on Christmas. He's gotten a break. So I want to show you something. When I had my dental procedure, I'm going to tell you what was my favorite thing to eat. Okay? Let's see if I can find it here. Here we go. This was what I really liked. These Outshine bars. The raspberry's really good. Strawberry. The raspberry's my favorite. But that raspberry, strawberry, grape, watermelon, peach, coconut, pineapple. But the raspberry is the best. But Hawkeyes, they're fairly cheap. I would have your daughter-in-law get you some because they're 100% fruit, but they're also, it'll help with the swelling. It'll help with everything because they're nice and cold. Nice and cold. That was probably what I ate the most, was these Outshine bars. Mango. And like I said, they're fairly cheap. I never bought the Kroger brand. I always got the Outshine because that was what was always on sale. So check that out. Yeah, I got some grease yesterday I picked up from Walmart, and she's going to cook fries in her Fry Daddy, I think. I think that's the plan. That's my plan. That's what they said they was going to do, so I'm going to hold them to it. Anyway, you're going to want stuff like that. Jell-O. Jell-O was really good, too. If you remember, I ate a lot of French onion soup. That was my go-to. Every day I wanted French onion soup. So, okay, Rock, that looks great. Yeah, you're going to thank me for it. I promise you. Like I said, out of everything, this was my go-to, was these ice cream bars that was all fruit. And you can get the flavor you want. I'm just telling you, if you like raspberry, raspberry was the best. And is anybody else in here like watermelon with salt on it? I used that too. I bought the watermelon ones and I put salt on it. Sure did. It was good. But if I was to give any advice, that would be it. No, there is no subject to change. No. No subject to change. Yeah, Jell-O and them ice cream bars. Seriously. Have your daughter-in-law pick some up. They're cheap and they're really good. And I know how you like your fruit. So, Girly Girl says yes. Yes. Yeah, the raspberry was really good and the watermelon tastes like watermelon. I was literally putting salt on it. So, yep. Rock may not handle Endiger lady in her kitchen. Bullshit. You get to peel the potatoes. Listen, tomorrow I'm doing nothing, nada, pinata. Them two get to cook. Maybe I'll film them cooking. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. My kitchen's not big enough for the both of us. We figured that out. Not because we're both overwhelming. It's just that damn small. No, Journey, it's your job now. She's already got the burgers ready. Yeah, I already seasoned the burgers. Already made them into patties. Rick knows he's got to toast the buns. I got some Hawaiian buns. Yeah, tomorrow's dinner is on them. Listen, I even made 2 pumpkin pies this weekend, and we took a pumpkin pie with us to the hotel. Tomorrow is my day off. Tomorrow's my day off from cooking. And tonight, I don't even know if Journey ate yet, but I made meatloaf Saturday. Yesterday, I made country fried steak with mashed potatoes and corn and rolls. So today they was eating leftovers, I think, because there was so much left and didn't want it to go to waste. Listen, I'm not even going in the kitchen when she's cooking. How about that? I'm going to let her do it all. I did eat already. Oh, you did? What did you eat? Curious. Listen, every night when we get done eating, I put everything into little to-go containers in the fridge, okay? And I do the dishes. So everything's done. So if she's not eating down there, that's on her, because all she's got to do is grab one of them to-go containers and throw it in the microwave down there. She ate meatloaf. Oh, good. Yeah. See, there was meatloaf and mashed potatoes and corn and fried okra. Oh, my God. I've made fried okra twice here lately. You know me and my fried okra. See, Journey, now it's your kitchen for the night. Yep. Yep. Sure enough. Well, I'll tell you what. I think it's about time to get off of here. Guys, do not stress over your dental appointment. You're going to feel much better. I know it's scary, and we will pray for you, but you're going to do all right. You're going to feel a lot better. But the thing is, let's see, have you ever got a perm, okay, or anything like that? You want to scratch your head because you got the damn rollers in your head, right? Or when you color your hair, you can't wait for it to get off. Well, when you can't have something, that's when you're going to crave it. You're going to crave everything that you can't have until you're healed, right? So at least have some backups and have some stuff that's going to really help you. Brian Rambles, we love you. We absolutely love you. Okay, kids, it's time to get off here. I appreciate everybody being here. We've been on here for 2 hours. I think we've covered everything we can. Tomorrow we'll go live at 7. Talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Thursday, though, I got something going on, so I'm not going to be live Thursday. And then, of course, next Wednesday, we're leaving. We're out of here. Me and Journey's out of here. She's got to get her car packed and all that. Hawkeye says, thank you, Rock, and lots of love to Girly Girl talking to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, Hawkeye, thank you for the donation for the gas. Again, it's very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Rubber says, hearts, hearts, hearts. Much love. First Noel says, dentists have come a long way, baby. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. When I got all my teeth pulled, Rick watched him do it. And listen, I was scared to death of the dentist. And it all went good. It all went fine. So it was all right. Girly Girl, Brian says, lots of X's and O's. Well, we love you, X's and O's. Girly Girl says, night, everyone. Love you, Rock. As a matter of fact, Girly Girl, how's Mike doing? How's the hubby doing? Is he getting around better? While I'm waiting for that answer, Journey to get there, night all. We'll do a little video for you tomorrow, cooking with Journey. There you go. You can use my tripod if you want to. Really glad I caught alive. We're glad you're here. Hawkeye says, Friday night fun, maybe. Make music. There you go. Keeping you in our prayers. Hawkeyes. Let me address one more thing, too. I got to address this, too. I don't know what the problem is with my phone, but sometimes it rings and it don't ring for me, okay? So I don't even know the person has called. That happens a lot with my daughter, and she has to call Rick and say, hey, where's Mom? And I'll be sitting right there and my phone never rang. For example, Saturday I had a birthday party to go to, and Jerry was following me, okay? And me and Journey was in the vehicle. Well, he wasn't right behind me. I was like, where the hell is he? Okay. So I kept calling him from my phone. It kept going to voicemail. And after about 20 times of trying to call him, I asked Journey if I could borrow her phone, and it immediately went to him. Me and him have both phones. They're exactly the same. We have the same service. But for some reason, a lot of phone calls I don't even get. Okay. I don't even get. So if you do call me and I don't answer, or you do get voicemail, leave a message. Ask Justify. A lot of times she calls me and I'm sitting right there and I get a voice message and I immediately call her. It never rang. So I don't even know how to fix it. I restarted my phone, everything. I don't know how to fix that. But I'm not sending anybody to voicemail. I just didn't get it. It didn't ring. Girly Girl says her husband, he's doing somewhat okay. They added another doctor. Have to go every week now. Oh, wow. Okay, but is the blood clots cleared up? Is it opened up? Blood's flowing good? Hawkeye says, let's keep Anne and Australia in our prayers from all the fires. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You know it snowed in Hawaii? The weather is crazy. Also, Rick had to go to Hutchinson today. They got snow. We never got snow. I just find it's crazy. Crazy. Girly Girl says, my phones do that. Yeah. And I think some people think that I'm sending them to voicemail when I'm really not. I'm really not. I just don't understand it. But anyway, Hawkeye says, mine does it sometimes too. It's so weird. It's weird. Girly Girl's Journey says, Girly Girl, prayers for your husband. Absolutely. Noelle says, at Rock, my email blocked me from making an email. Totally bizarre. That's weird. That is weird. That is weird. And keeping Australia in our thoughts with all them fires, that is crazy, crazy weird. I am going to look more into like I said, I think it's Houston. Husband and wife found yesterday shot to death. I wonder what's going on with that. I can't believe Hawaii had snow. I cannot believe it. That is crazy, crazy. And if you see this picture, I really did do my hair this way. Like I really did do this. I really did do the pink and blue. Oh, let me show you this too. Christopher, I've been waiting for Christopher to come in, but he didn't come in, so I'm going to show you anyway. You remember this picture? Does everybody remember this picture? Okay. So what I did is I had Chat GPT do an updated picture. Okay, here we go. There's the updated picture. Oh, and my friend on TikTok, he made me a Jayhawk. He's a balloon maker. And see my little Jayhawk balloon? Isn't that cool? All right, here. Not sure the doctor they added is for wound and limb preservation. It's kind of weird. Rita had knee surgery not too long ago, and she got an infection, and she's still going to an infectious disease doctor, and she has to go every 3 days. It is so crazy. I got to pray for her, too. It's just nuts. They don't know where the infection came from. Yeah, that was funny. Oh, my lemon, that's right. Well, see, Christopher said in this one, he said, what did he say? I hadn't slept in like 30 days. That's what he said. This is when he was running from the law, okay? And I just had Chat GPT do an update. This is what they say you should look like now. Oh my gosh. What a hot mess. What a hot mess. Hawkeye says, I asked you if you colored your hair and how did Rick respond? Well, he knew not to say a whole lot. As a matter of fact, he saw it. I know he didn't. He was in bed. I said, well, I did my hair. And he looked like he hadn't seen it. And he goes, oh, do you like it? I said, I do like it. He said, oh, okay. I don't know. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Listen, he's got to be careful what he says, too, He's got to be careful. I'm starting to get an itchy throat. I'll flop him like a pancake, Oh, let's play this song for Brian. I forgot I made this song for you, Brian. It's only a minute long. Let me play it real quick. I forgot we even made it. I was going to play the Going Out song, but let's play this Brian song.
Yo, gather round, Rock Chalk fam. This one goes out to our brother Brian. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Brian rambles, yeah, he's got tales to tell. Retired health pro, you know he did it well. Can't get out much, but he's holding it down. Got his loyal dog, and they run this town from morning walks to late night chats. Brian's a man, and we tip our hats. Through every story, every laugh, every cue, there's one thing we gotta say: we love you, boy. Brian, we love you, y'all. We love you. Yeah, your dog loves so big. I love you, big. I love you forever, brother, forever, brother. Walking slow but thinking fast. Brian's wisdom always lasts. Helping hearts, healing minds. Even retired, his love still shines. Brian, we see you, we got your back. Every ramble, every snack attack. From dog parks to cozy floors, you're our brother forevermore. We love you, Brian, we love you, Lionel, love you. Yeah, your dog loves so big, I love you, big, I love you forever, brother, forever, brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. Brian ramble, Brian shines. Big love from us for all the times. Retired pro, heart of gold. This rock chalk love will never get old.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that song. I forgot about that song. That was such a good song, Brian. I hope you enjoyed that song. Oh my gosh. I remember everything I put in it too. That's so crazy. Good song. Let's see here. Let me find a really good one. I tried to make personalized ones. Anybody that asked me to make one, I made one. If you need one made, let me know. Try to make them for everybody. We're going to close out of here. Happy Tears, right, Noel? I'm telling you. I thought it was just a really good song. Okay, this is the last song, guys. We'll see you Tuesday at 7. Everybody take care. Much love to each and every one of you. And again, for the person that keeps texting me while I'm live and telling me everything I'm doing wrong, I'll drop the link. You can come up and you can run the show, okay? Since you can do such a better chance, we'll just let you do it. Tuesday, I'll drop the link for you. You can do the whole show. I'll be looking forward to it. Much love, guys. Talk to you later.
Quiet wings in the midnight sky, carrying lives we hold nearby. From Kansas plains to distant light, we bow our heads a solemn night. Every heartbeat, every name, known to God beyond the flame. We gather close, hand in hand, rock chalk family. Here we stand. When words fall short and answers wait, we choose faith over fear and faith. Prayers for Greg and his family tonight, for every soul on that flight. Cover them, Lord, with mercy and peace. Let fear be still, let hope increase. From cockpit to cabin, young and old, hold them close, never let go. Rock chalk hearts rise as one, prayers not questions, till the morning comes. Still in silence, faith takes wing. In moments we can't explain a thing, but love is louder than breaking news, and grace still carries us through. every mile, every breath, life is sacred, more than headlines read. So we lay it down at heaven's door. Trust you now and forevermore.
Neon Nights with the Rocktown crew. Hey, let's go.
Neon lights, cassette dreams, bigger sky and laser beams. Tonight the family take the stage, turn every star to electric flame. Neon lights, cassette dreams, Jane in front with Big Mikey schemes. Hawkeye watch from way up high, run the roll while Stacy fly. Holly glow with that sunshine soul, Beach Baby vibing from coast to coast roll. Gail got faith that never fades, fairy tales like the runaway days. Journey rolling with the highway flame, Holly kindness call your name. J-Lo must drop with the rhythm tight, Anthony dance through the midnight light. Johnny thunder in the front row sound, Noah turn speakers upside down. Mountain girl strong in the rising air, Kizzy got rhythm everywhere. Hands in the air, don't slow it down, this whole crew run this neon town. We are the rock chalk, fire in our soul. Boombox blast while the night takes hold. From the shadows to the spotlight glow, we rise together, watch us go. Neon nights and a rebel sound, rock chalk family, run this town. Black opal glow with Natasha so true. Nora and DC break on through. Charming free with Calessa cool. Rena run wild, the life for rule. Girly girl sparkle, Robin stay real. Christopher Power with steel toe feel. Nana keep praying through the thick and thin. Libra got soul when the beat drop in. Rick stay ready, Levin dot shine. Angel wings when the stars align. Dead Sea care in the midnight air. Jezebel fire everywhere. Red and Quinn with the mic on flame. Mark stay solid in the fast lane. Tiny big heart in a wild little frame. KS rural roots in the Hall of Fame. American honey, sweet and bold. Patron is truth, pure gold for you to see. Vision clean, veteran act in the street light scene. We are the rock chalk, fire in our soul. Boombox blast while the night takes hold. From the shadows to the spotlight glow, we rise together, watch us go. Neon nights and a rebel sound. Rock chalk family, run this town. Two-step spin, clear that floor. Carol shine, give me more. Chop, cold, chill, rewind time. Grumpy growl, but the heart stay kind. Jayhawks fly through the storm. Moonlight glow where the brave are born. OPPK, pride stand tall. Breathe and crow at the freedom call. What now question? Winchester, true. Official Sherry, see it through. Who are we? All rock chat. Who are we? All we all rock chat. Jade Wisdom, Big Mike, Power Hawkeye Vision, Rhonda, Strand. That's the
Funny you said that, because I did do one. That's so funny that you said that. Let's see how it turned out. I did do one. Hilarious. It's titled Shut the Fuck Up. You think like me, girly girl.
Got a message on my screen, yeah, it's coming through. Some bushwatcher talking like they know what I do. Sitting in the shadows, thinking they're the boss. But I'm on the stage now and I'm ready to toss. If you got the guts, step into the light. Show me what you got, let's go toe to toe tonight. Come up, run the show if you can do better. Or shut the fuck up and leave it forever. This is my stage, my fire, my fight. Talking from the sidelines, won't win tonight. Won't win tonight, yeah. Keyboard warrior, hiding behind that glass. I'm sweating Sitting under lights, you're just living in the past. Think you're clever with your little critique. Step into the arena, let's see who's really elite. Yeah. If you got the guts, step into the light. Show me what you got, let's go toe-to-toe tonight. Come on, run the show if you can do better. Or shut the fuck up and leave it forever. This is my stage, my fire, my fight. Talking from the sidelines, won't win tonight. Oh yeah. Guitar screaming, drums crashing, hear me roar. This ain't a practice round, this is hardcore. Step up or fade out, your choice is clear. The spotlight's on me, you're just a ghost here. Come on, run the show if you can do better. Or shut the fuck up and leave it forever. This is my stage, my fire, my fight. Talking from the sidelines, won't win tonight. Won't win tonight. Won't win tonight.
Pretty good for off the rip, right? I thought it turned out pretty good. Much love to you guys. I'm out of here. We'll see you Tuesday at 7. Have a great week until we see you tomorrow.
Another year done, sunset slow and gold. Hard days behind us, good stories told. From storms to sunshine, we stood our ground. Now we light up the night as the year winds down. Jane with the wisdom, Big Mike with the heart. Hawkeye watching over us right from the start. Rhonda and Stacy keep the laughter alive. Holly and Beach, baby, bring the coastal vibe. We've been up, we've been low, but we held on tight. Every name here's a star in the same bright sky tonight. So we wind down, slow down, raise one high, to the tears we cried and the nights we survived. Rock Chalk family, side by side, different roads, same fire inside. From the first cold day to the last midnight shine, we made it together. End of year, wind down time. Gale with the courage, fairy tales with the dream. Journey still rolling with that runaway gleam. Hottie with the kindness, Chalmers with the flow. Anthony and Johnny let the good times roll. Noel in the rhythm, mountain girl strong. Kizzy keeps shining when the nights feel long. Black Opal wisdom, Natasha so true. Nora and DC keep the love coming through. Every scar tells a story. Every laugh left a mark. We were candles for each other in the dark. So we wind down, slow down, raise one high, to the tears we cried and the nights we survived. Rock Chalk family, side by side, different roads, same fire inside. From the first cold day to the last midnight shine, we made it together. End of year, wind down time. Gay Rock Bridge, Ferry Callus, Raynard, delightful, so sweet. Girly girl sparkle with the bounce and the beat. Robin stay steady, Christopher strong. Gonna keep praying all night long. Leroy got soul, Rick keep it true. Lavender glow with that purple hue. Angel with mercy, Dempsey with care. Jezebel fire with the fearless stare. Red and Quinn riding through the years last mile. Mark and Tiny all heart, all smile. KS Rural Roots and American Honey Gold. Patroness for you to see doing live bold. DT and Eck, two-step in time. Carol stay shining through every rhyme. Chop cold chill, Grumpy Key real. Jayhawks fly where the blue winds feel. Moonlight glowing, Noki PK proud. Red and Crow loud above the crowd. What now questioning Winchester true. Official Chevy seeing it through. We lost some battles but we won also. Learn how to bend without losing control. Late night talks and early morning prayer. We carried each other when the load wasn't fair. So we wind down, slow down, raise one high.
Shut the fuck up! Yeah, yeah!
Got a message on my screen, yeah, it's coming through. Some bushwhacker talking like they know what I do. Sitting in the shadows, thinking they're the boss. But I'm on the stage now, and I'm ready to toss. If you got the guts, step into the light. Show me what you got, let's go toe to toe tonight. Come up from the show if you can do better. Or shut the fuck up and leave it forever. This is my stage, my fire, my fight. Talking from the sidelines, won't win tonight. Talking from the sidelines, won't win tonight. Keyboard warrior, hiding behind that glass. I'm sweating under lights, you're just living in the past. Think you're clever with your little critique. Step into the arena, let's see who's really elite. If you got the guts, step into the light. Show me what you got, let's go toe to toe tonight. Come up, run the show if you can do better. Or shut the fuck up and leave it forever. This is my stage, my fire, my fight. Talking from the sidelines, won't win tonight. Guitar screaming, drums crashing, hear me roar. This ain't a practice round, this is hardcore. Step up or fade out. Your choice is clear. The spotlight's on me. You're just a ghost here.